And I'm gonna take this chance to really take a peek at some of the first foils we did so you can see how the Lift Me Up is doing. Look at that. Look at this beautiful bright blonde.
Louder, screaming louder, my superpower. Gonna take you higher.
Hello, hair bestie. I'm back with Hannah.
Hi.
Hannah is one of our original models for Mydentity, the brand I created. It's been over 5 years.
Been with you for a long time.
So what color are we doing today?
We are making me a redhead.
It's time to evolve. It's time to do something different.
It's time for something different. We're
Yes.
growing up.
We're growing up. We're
changing.
graduating.
We're graduating.
We're graduating.
It's time.
So we're gonna tackle the situation here. So I'm gonna get the swatches here. This is the natural level finder in the GuyTang Mydentity swatch book. You appear to be a natural level 6, to be honest, which is pretty simple to lift. So we're probably gonna use Lift Me Up Bright, because if we're gonna keep your redhead, we wanna keep your highlights warm. All right, so when lightening the hair, you have to go through these natural underlying pigment, so the hair naturally turns red, orange, and yellow. Because she's a natural level 6, she doesn't have much red in her hair. She has more yellow, maybe a little bit orange. So we're looking here, most of her underlying pigment that she has is a level 8. So she has a lot of level 8s, a little bit of level 7. So we are gonna lift her hair up to level 9, 8 in between there, and we're gonna celebrate the natural underlying pigment that's there. So we're not gonna overlift you. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
This is a huge change.
I'm ready, I know. I'm excited.
We're gonna cover you up.
Cape me.
Yes, so you could be a superhero.
Just turn me into poison ivy.
Yes. All right, I'm gonna have you sit down and I'm gonna start mixing the color. I am gonna start off with using the Lift Me Up system to highlight Hannah's hair. So the Lift Me Up system is able to lift up to 6+ levels in one step. You don't need to tone the hair, it will tone the hair for you. So you have an option of using a bright blonde, there's a pearl blonde, and there's a rose blonde. So when you look at the swatch page here, you get the rose, the bright, which is a gold tone, and the pearl. So this is where the bright blonde comes in, especially when we're gonna do her hair red. If she wants to be a natural redhead, you do not want to put ash blonde highlights. You want something that harmonizes with the base color. Now with these 3 shades, you can make 7 different shades. These are the second swatch page that is in the portfolio, which shows you what happens when you mix the rose with the pearl. You get more of like a dusty rose, and you can mix the bright with the rose to get like an amber rose tone. And then if you mix the bright with the pearl, you get like a sandstorm type of neutral balanced blonde tone. And then if you mix bright rose and pearl together, you get the balance of like this naked nude rose color. When you look at the swatch here, it shows you what each shade looks like at that level. So you can see what it'll look like on a level 5, level 6, level 7, level 8, level 9. So this would be your result when you're using the standard lift. So we're going to talk about the lift options you get with the mixing ratio. I'm going to put the chart right next to me right here, and you can see that there's the original standard lift, which is what the swatch is. Then you get the max lift soft tone, which is in the center. That gives you the maximum lift, where you can lift close to 7+ levels of lift. And then you also get the option of max lift and max tone. So what that does is you get the maximum lifting potential of 7+ levels, and you also get the maximum toning power. So you get to control or enhance that tone that you want. So you get to override the underlying pigment while depositing maximum pigment. And a lot of times we want to do that, but sometimes you don't need to do that. Where in Hannah's case, because she's a level 6, we only need to do the standard lift. And with that, that's where you get the result that you're seeing here. So because she's a natural level 6, you're gonna get this result. So it's gonna look very gold, because I don't want to use, 40 volume or 30 volume. I only need to use 10 volume. We are gonna do Magnum 8. So Magnum 8 is our amazing powder lightener. So you're gonna do 10 grams of Magnum 8, and then we're gonna do 14 grams of the oil lift booster here. Always measure. And the oil is important because the oil encapsulates the dye to make sure the lightener doesn't eat it up. What makes the Lift Me Up system so different than your traditional high lift colors, because your traditional high lift color doesn't eat eat through hair color, where this will break through color treated hair and deposit color while lifting. So you're gonna do 14 grams of the Bright. Now I know that when you're pouring it out, it might look like, whoa, that looks orange, it looks scary, you know. No, it's not. It's gonna give you the most perfect warmth. It's gonna give you that bright, glowy blonde tone. I'm gonna use the Dedicated Developer with 10 volume. You're gonna do 40 grams. So we're gonna whisk this on up. What I love about this consistency is that it's easy to apply to the hair. You don't have to overly saturate, overly push the product in, working your butt off to try to push the lightener in, because this just sinks right in. Now, this is the time to add in your Olaplex. You don't need that much, okay? Because Olaplex has a pH of 3.5, so less is more. You only need like a little drop here. Boom, that's it. That's all you need. So we're gonna use the Guy Tang collagen powder. We all need protection here. Less is more because we are lifting. So we're gonna shake that in. There you go. That's all you need. And we're gonna stir that on up and we're ready to apply. And if you have any questions about the Lift Me Up system, leave your comments below and I will respond the best I can. I wanna make sure that you screenshot the chart. So I'm gonna put it back up here one more time because you need to keep it in your back bar so your life will be easier when you mix the formula with Lift Me Up. All right, let's apply. Okay, I sectioned Hannah's hair into 4 quadrants here. As you can see, we got 1, 2, moving the parietal out the way. Then we divide the hair in half in the back section here. So I'm gonna clip this out the way because we're gonna start on the left side of Hannah's hair. And I am gonna pull away the top veil. So I'm sectioning this out the way because you want this to be the veil that falls over. So I'm gonna highlight every inch all the way up and then till we meet this line up here, and then we stop highlighting up here because this is where her natural swirl is on top. I want her natural red hair to fall over because her red hair should be the primal focus. So we're gonna do the air touch technique. So the air touch technique is using the blow dryer to push out all the short hair underneath, so that way you get to highlight all the long hair. You're able to draw the attention to the elongated parts of the hair versus the short parts, because sometimes when you're highlighting short hairs, it can look like breakage. And oftentimes what happens is when we highlight hair that is short, it looks, is there breakage? How come the highlight doesn't travel down all the way to the ends? So by pushing the short hair out the way, you're able to draw focus on only the lengths of the hair. So what you do is you take a slice of the hair under here. This is right above that nape area. You want to leave a little bit of darkness here. So you take this panel, you get your blow dryer, make sure you have your concentrator on your blow dryer. The concentrator allows a streamline of airflow. Then you hold the hair on the ends in a flat panel. That way when you turn on the blow dryer, like so, you're pushing all of the short hairs out. And you can see the short hairs coming out right underneath where I'm holding the hair. And you can see all these short hair bits. Now you can pull that down and look at this. So this is within the same panel. Look at the short hair, look at the long hair, look at the difference. And you repeat this step all the way throughout the whole entire head. It doesn't work so much on the bangs area because the fringe area is too short, so we might have to highlight those. But for the longer parts of her hair, this is what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna grab a foil board and we are gonna paint on the hair. Sometimes I like to do a little tuck, right? Because sometimes to get perfect precision, you have to use comb, push them out the way. So I wanna show you the beauty of the Lift Me Up. Now, I'm only gonna spoon up the product. You see here, it's just a little bit of product, not too much. Watch how product penetrates through the hair. See that? You don't have to work that hard. The Lift Me Up product just penetrates right through. And now, I'm gonna subtly here feather the product all the way up to that scalp edge area, and you don't have to work that hard to penetrate because it literally just penetrates through the hair. Look how beautiful this color is gonna be. So now, I'm gonna move down, spread that product down. The product spreads so well because it's an oil base and it's liquid. It's able to spread so easily without overly packing the product on. Now you could take that comb right out and hold the board from the bottom and paint. Now sometimes I'll just roll a little bit here. And because we only use 10 volume and we have Olaplex, I don't mind slightly overlapping the lightened ends a little bit because the hair isn't that overly lifted, so I'm not scared. So you can overlay the foils. These were a gift from Framart. Framart made the foils. They're the sweetest company people that ever supported me with the foils. They go, oh, let me give this to guys a gift because this is the cover of my first album, More to Me. So it's a celebration to my music, and I thought that was very sweet. So I'm very proud of it. And honestly, we should normalize being proud of ourselves. We should normalize having confidence with ourselves because we keep on telling people, love yourself, love yourself. When someone finally loved themselves, you try to shame them.
I know.
Right, Hannah? When I
Oh,
finally...
you're so full of yourself. You have such a big ego.
Yes!
Like, no, I'm confident. Thank you.
Exactly.
And your foils are so cool. The first thing I said was, oh my god, I love these. Like, they're so cool.
Thank you,
I want a
Hannah.
cartoon of myself. Like,
Wouldn't that, right?
yeah,
It's-
it's so sick.
It's pretty awesome,
So
and that's
cool.
the thing. First of all, Hannah, I spent most of my life feeling I wasn't proud of myself. I had insecurities. I was ashamed of my culture, my ethnicity. I was ashamed of who I am growing up. It took me forever to find my identity and who I am. And finally, I'm proud, and I'm 40. It took me 40 years to love myself. Is someone's gonna go and call me narcissist? And I was like, okay, well, if that's what you call a narcissist, whatever. I'm proud, and so should you. We should all be proud, right, Hannah?
Agreed. If I had a cartoon of myself like that, I'd put it on everything.
So we're gonna do the same thing on this side. Blow dry all the short hair out. See right there? And now you just pull it down. So this technique I find to be very, very helpful. It does take some time because you have to whip out the blow dryer and go through every section, but a lot of times when you're doing color corrections, it's totally worth going the extra mile. Life is about having patience. Throughout the years after I've been doing hair for over 17 years now, it's natural to get burnt out. You get tired, it's very, very normal. You lose your creativity sometimes. And what I find is the best way to get creative again is by using and utilizing these new techniques you learn. And that goes back to giving yourself that boost. Tell yourself you're
You
beautiful.
gotta hype yourself up.
Yeah.
No one else is gonna do it for you. You should have family and friends that are there for you, but you know, you really gotta be your biggest supporter. and hyper.
Hannah. You know what I've discovered throughout the last couple years? I find that sometimes some of the friends I have, they're around when you're sad, but then they're not around when you're happy. They're not around to celebrate your wins.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
That's
talking about?
true, yeah. Or they don't want to hear you even talk about even your goals or anything, or they'll laugh
No.
at you. And
But like when you're like, you post something where you're sad, then all of a sudden, oh, are you okay, girl?
Yeah.
Is everything okay? And then all of a sudden, when you're happy, oh my gosh, I just got this, I just got that. And it's like, hello.
yeah, because they get
Crickets.
jealous. Yeah.
You know, I saw this quote that says, watch for friends who is only there for you when you're down versus when you're winning. Observe that. Because
It's always
those are,
the opposite. You always see like, oh, like see who's there for you when you're at your lowest versus at your highest, but it goes both ways.
yeah, because sometimes people are only there for you because they want to see how bad you're doing so they can feel better about themselves. And when you're winning, it makes them feel bad and they don't want to hype you up. So also pay close attention to people who are there for you to celebrate you when you're winning. And that's how you know who your true friends are. It needs to be a perfect balance. I want you to tell me, have you ever experienced someone who's very toxic in your life? They're only there for you when you're down, and it feels like it's always there when you're in a very negative space, and it doesn't make you feel good. Leave your comments below, let me know, because I don't want to feel like I'm alone. Because sometimes I feel like, ugh, who do I want in my life? Who do I don't want to mute on my Instagram?
Yep.
Who do I want to hang out with and choose my time wisely? Because time is really precious, as we learned this year, that, you know, not every day is promised. So if you're gonna spend time, you know, you have to choose your time wisely with who you're spending it with. You can see here that I've finished quite a bit here. You can choose to do back-to-back air touch foiling from the bottom of the head all the way up to the top of the head, all around. But I want to skip an inch in between because I want to give spacing. I don't want to over highlight her hair. What I also find that is an easier way for you to do the air touch technique is this. And this is actually one of my favorite ways, is by over directing the hair. So you can see that I grab a panel here on this side, and I'm holding onto the length of the hair. You can see here that the hair gets thinner on the bottom. That's normal because everyone's hair gets less as it goes down because all the short hair is trying to catch up. So I get the blow dryer. What I do is I over direct the hair out in the panel. When you do the blow drying, you lift the hair up 180, and you can see how all that short hair is just shooting right out from underneath. By lifting the hair up, it makes it so much easier for you to see all the short hair just shooting out. So now you get to gather all the short hair bits. With the foil board, I find that it really helps. So you fold the foil back, and I showed this earlier, but I really want you to really get your eyes in up close to the scalp here. You can see that there's still a little bit of pillow, as I like to call it, like puffiness from the short hair that's being pushed out. So this is where you get your fine tooth comb and really do like a subtle tap, this tuck really helps you get close. See that? That's all you do. Now you don't have to do this. You can stay far away from the scalp if you want, but if you're trying to get close up to the scalp, using that comb really helps you get in close as possible. So Hannah and I was discussing about people who feel sorry for you and watch out for people who is only there for you when you're feeling down versus celebrating you when you're winning. As a person, as a human being, you know, when someone feels bad for me, I do prefer empathy over sympathy. When people feel sorry for me, it doesn't empower me, encourage me to be better. But if they're empathetic, what happens is you feel like someone's there for you, listening to you.
Yeah, agreed. Especially when they can like relate and stuff too, and sit and talk together.
This is what we do as humans. We tend to make everything about us and relate it back to us. And sometimes it's not about you. It's about listening and being there.
Yeah.
And supporting
Agreed.
your friend. And
Yeah.
we're all guilty of this. I'm guilty of it. I'm not perfect, trust me. And I catch myself when I turn it back and I make it about me. Well, I know, but there's something similar. I was like, no, wait, Guy, this is not about you.
I mean, you don't mean it in a bad way, though. You mean it in like, you know, you want to show that, you know, you've experienced something similar and that you're there for them and they're not alone in whatever they're experiencing or going through. So we all do that, and yeah, sometimes it can come across selfish. And we don't mean to. We're just trying to make the other person feel better. Like, oh, I've been through that too.
But it's also very important that we catch ourselves and go, you know what, this is a time to listen. And when time is right, they call for your expertise. That's when I'll be like, I can only imagine what you're going through. If it goes there and you feel comfortable about going, you know what, I haven't been through what you have been going through, but I've experienced something very similar and this is what I did. I don't know if that can help guide you to a certain path, but what I did is this. And sometimes that's great, but sometimes it's waiting for the right time to insert yourself.
Absolutely.
So here you go. You can see the veil here. You can see all the highlights that we put throughout here. Do not highlight the top because you do not want the highlight to be right at that swirl because it'll look like, hello everyone, I'm right here. And it looks like you have two breakage or antennas that are right there. So avoid highlighting right there. And I'm gonna do the same thing throughout the parietal. I am gonna tackle her fringe very differently because she does have these bangs and you probably can't do the air touch on that part because the hair is already too short. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna weave that area and I'll show you how I'm gonna do that. So I'll finish this side and we'll finish off on the other side. All right, let me bring you up, Hannah. We're up to your bangs now, your fringe. And we still got product in the bowl. And this is only one batch of mixing. So you see how this product goes such a long ways because it's so easy to spread. You don't need that much. I could finish your whole entire head with one mixture. So the Lift Me Up system really travels far. So Frameart came out with these combs that I am obsessed with. So there's 3 different options. There's ones that are more spaced out, so you get more of a thicker highlight. And there's one that's kind of in between, so you get the perfect balance. And there's one that's micro fine, so the highlights look a little bit more natural. Up on her fringe here, we want it to look natural. The whole point of this redhead look is to make her look natural and not stripy. So no stripy. So we're gonna do the small fine tooth comb here. So we're gonna take a thin slice here, go horizontally across. So we're gonna take a thin slice right across. So you see the comb. I'm just gonna press the comb right through and use my finger, slide right through that. And now you get those highlights popping. So I'm gonna grab the foil. So we're gonna go the traditional way, fold the foil flap over that metal rat tail and tuck her in. So look at those highlights. You don't have to weave it. It's done in one step with the comb. So that's really, really cool. It saves time, energy, effort, and we're gonna paint right on, just like that. So now she's gonna get her bangs banging.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. Your bangs need some action.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do later when I base her hair is I'm gonna smudge the base color into the foil. If you wanna go up as high as possible up here, you can. So you can see right there, I'm gonna go up. Boom, just like so. And we are gonna fold this foil up. And because her bangs is in a smaller compact section, I'm gonna take a smaller increment. So instead of an inch, I'm gonna probably take about ½ an inch spacing between the highlights because we don't have much spacing here to work with. And I'm gonna go all the way up and I'm gonna leave a little veil. That way you don't get any striping up here on the top. And then we'll be right back to do the base color. Okay, this is the part we've been waiting for, Hannah. The part that we're gonna put copper in your hair. And I'm gonna show you the 7CRC swatch. We're gonna utilize 7CRC. Now this looks very powerful, very fiery, very orange. That looks very vibrant, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, that's not the color you want, not today. So what we are gonna use 7CRC for is to inject our formula to create a natural ginger red. So you're gonna need Naked Glow 9. This is available in both permanent and demi-permanent. Obviously, we're gonna use permanent color. So the permanent color has the ability to lift that level 6 base because she's a natural level 6. So when we lighten a natural level 6, you're gonna expose red naturally. So she's gonna be red naturally just by permanent color touching her hair. So you don't really need that much 7CRC, otherwise it's gonna glow at the scalp. So in the scalp formula, I'm gonna mix that formula slightly differently. So we're gonna start off with using Naked Glow 9. So the Naked Glow 9 is a gold beige formulation. So we're gonna squeeze the whole tube. So it's gonna be 55 grams here. So we are only gonna use a little squirtage of the CRC. So that's 3 grams of 7CRC. And this is for the scalp formulation. And we are gonna use 10 volume because we don't need to overly lift her hair. There we go. Now that's equal parts. We're gonna whisk the color right on up. 55 grams of Naked Glow 9 to 3 grams of 7CRC permanent color. The 7CRC, just that little bit of it in there, is gonna be very, very powerful. And then we're gonna add in Olaplex. Less is more, just like so. And GuyTang, Collagen, just a little bit, less is more, just a sprinkle. There you have it. So this is gonna be Formula 1. And then Formula 2, I'm gonna add a little bit more 7CRC. All right, so the second formula is still the same. We're still using Naked Glow 9, the full tube, because she does got some hairs. So with this one, the first formula, we did 3 grams of 7CRC. I'm gonna double it plus 1, so it's gonna be a 6 and a 7. So I'm gonna do 7 grams of 7CRC in this one, so it's gonna pop a little bit more. And the second formula here is gonna be 20 volume. So the reason why I'm using 20 volume is because we need more energy throughout her mid shaft, because that's the cold shaft area. We need more potency so we can make them pop. And then I'm gonna add more Olaplex to the formula through the ends so we get to dilute the pH of that down and protect her ends more as I run this formula through her ends. So now we are gonna add Olaplex to this formula. And of course, gotta add the GuyTang sprinkle. Okay, and that's it. We're gonna stir this on up and then we're gonna apply. The moment is here, and you can see I have 2 formula bowls right here beside me. And the formula 1 is the one with 10 volume with less CRC in it. It's on my left side, and over here is a lot more brighter. So the second formula is gonna pop more. We're gonna apply the formula right on her rootàge first. Okay, there's no going back. You're gonna be a redhead.
I can't wait.
Me too. And who knows, you might want to stay here forever. So we're going to apply this throughout all of her rootàge, in between the foils, and then I'm going to go into the second formula. So I start with the top veil first because you want to get that out the way. So I'll show you a section how I'm going to lift up the foil. So you're going to lift up the first section and go right in between. Take a little thinner section so you don't miss any spots. And then you repeat the same thing as you fold the pages on your way down. You can see the lift me up lifting already. And I'm gonna take this chance to really take a peek at some of the first foils we did so you can see how the lift me up is doing. Look at that. Look at this beautiful bright blonde. So obviously it looks a little bit more potent and a little bit more yellow because of the color that is still processing, but once you rinse the color off, it's gonna look gorgeous. So we're gonna go ahead and apply the base formula, and then as I finish applying it on her rootàge, we're gonna come back and apply the second formula. All right, so now we are on the second formula. So you can see here, the first formula is on the rootàge processing. So I work my way down by folding everything up. So now I'm gonna go my way back up. You can see here, I'm gonna use my hand and my palm as a platform, and I'm applying the second formula and bring it all the way down to the ends here. So her end is pretty dark underneath the nape area, so I'm able to travel this down. But as we start to move up close to the top, I'm gonna add Olaplex into that formula. So that's why I'm gonna start the bottom first. So the more Olaplex I add in, it's gonna help me feel more safer by pulling it through the ends. So make sure you pack the product on. One thing I do love about GuyTang Mydentity is that it does spread and penetrate very well. So you can see here, I'm just gonna fold the pages down, and you can see how I'm slowly working my way up. And using 2 formulas is crucial here for getting the most beautiful results, because if you just use one formula and slap it all over the head, it gives you that risk of having hot roots, and it doesn't give you that professional quality dimension that you're looking for. That's why I always like to to do a root formula, mix it slightly different by shifting the developers and shifting the amount of copper I put in there to prevent hot roots. You can see that her mid-shaft formula is processing. I left out all of the blonde ends. I felt that was a little bit more porous. And I'm gonna use the same formula, and we're gonna use a lot of Olaplex in this one, okay? So we're gonna dilute the potency here because the pH will help drop that down. And I'm gonna stir that on in on that. I know that seems like a lot of Olaplex, but trust me, when you know the science of the product, how it has a lower pH, this helps me manipulate the product and use it to my advantage to protect her ends. And using the same formula and able to drag that formula through and get consistency without causing any damage to her hair. Oh my gosh, look how natural that highlight is in that foil that's happening right in there. All right, so now we are gonna apply this throughout those blonde ends, drag the same formula down through. So I'm gonna apply this throughout all of her ends, and we're gonna let her process for 30 minutes, and then she's done. Now it's the time for us to rinse out the color. So I'm gonna take a peek at the Lift Me Up highlights. Whoa, look how pretty this is. So you can see that bright glow, sunshiny, Lift Me Up Bright Blonde. What I love about this tone is that it's gonna look so great next to the natural copper redhead that we're gonna do. And we only use 10 volume, and we use the standard lift, which is the most gentle lift with 10 volume. So we could have override it, make it a really bright light blonde, but we didn't. So I'm just gonna go ahead and keep those highlights inside the foil, move them out the way, and rinse the color so that way they don't like bleed together. So there is some separation. Whoa, this is gonna be so pretty. You're pretty much rinsing out all of the base color first. So now we're gonna go ahead and pull out the fringe. Let's pull these Lift Me Up foils. Oh, look at that. That's gorgeous. And you see how no matter where I start and stop, the lift comes out evenly. See, I started back here, and you see how that tone comes out the exact same as the top. That's the cool thing about the Lift Me Up system, is that you can start in the back and at the top, pull out the foils, they all lift the same because it lifts to that desired level, deposit that tone, and give you that control without fear. And you can take all the time you want if you're a slow foiler, or if you're fast at foiling, it doesn't matter. The color always lifts the same. You saw me shampoo her hair with my Confidant shampoo. Now that we rinsed that out. Oh, you love, oh, this smells so good.
Smells so good.
We're gonna spray X2 into your hair. So this is a collagen repair spray. It ensures that the cuticles are closed as well, and it's smooth, shiny, detangles the hair. We're gonna squeeze out my Confidant color conditioner. It's time for the big reveal. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Don't tell me you love me when you only say all that you want me to be. Don't tell me you love me when all you perceive is the image you want to believe. Can't make it any clearer. This is a two-way mirror. Can't make it any clearer. This is a two-way mirror.
She's the natural redhead. The highlights just blend right
natural.
in. All natural.
Not really.
But you love it?
I love it so much.
Your green eyes
I
pop
love
out?
it. It's the first time in 5 years we haven't done rose golds.
I know.
And I'm obsessed.
This is the change we all needed. The highlights and the dimension makes it look so natural. It brings that bright, lift me up blonde.
It like blends so well you can't even see the highlights almost.
That's the point, it's the harmonies. And when she turns to the side, it looks so healthy, so dimensional. You can see all the shine, and you can see the highlights just popping out, but not like contrasting. I'm turning Hannah around so you get to see the micronized highlights that I put in using the air touch technique. So as I dissect her hair here, you could clearly see those shimmering, bright blonde highlights. And you can see that definition coming through, but the stitch marks look so natural because of that diffusion with the air touch. But as I comb through, you see the base color, the highlight, base color, highlight, base color, highlight, because we place it in horizontally. That's why when I dissect the hair, you can see the placement of the highlight. But as the hair lays down, look how it blends, and it looks like she's she's a natural redhead. Horizontal highlights on her fringe. So as I comb her fringe here, you can see on her bangs, look at those micronized tiny blonde highlights coming through because they are tone on tone with the bright and the copper. It looks dimensional and you don't see striping, you see blending. It looks so good. You know, definitely thumbs up, subscribe, leave your comments below, tell us how you feel about the color and if you like this air touch technique because the colors blend so well and it look natural. Everyone is wanting to go red and copper. This is the way to do it. I share the formula with you and I hope you use it in the salon. And definitely check out my music videos here on YouTube and my music on Spotify and iTunes. It means a lot to me.
I love your music videos.
Thank you. I worked really hard on it, guys. Show me love. I have a song called Show Me Love coming out soon, by the way. Anyway, talk to you soon. Bye-bye. MyDaddyColor.com and CosmoPropBeauty.com. You can purchase all the color. All the links will be below. Love you much. Bye-bye.